man. Having a good time with it. Invincible, Invincible. They are not pulling any punches. There's no extreme nudity. There's no extreme language. I'm sure there's some profanity. I'm glossing right over it, but man, the violence is next level. And look, they start you off with this image of the Justice League, you know, and Omni Man is the Superman in this Justice League. But by the end of the episode, and you got to stay to the end. If you ain't shocked at the end, then that means you haven't seen the ending of it. If you stay to the end of it, you'll see uh, a real divergence of the superhero, the Justice League, and Invincible should come into its own by the second episode. It comes into its own. Really, really extreme um, storytelling. It's a mystery on top of a mystery on top of a mystery. A lot of characters as the episode. I'm in the fourth episode, and by the fourth episode, you see that a lot of people are not who they say they were, um, doing the things that they say they're doing, and people are. I mean, it's just gets mixed up and mixed up fast. Um, but I gotta tell you, man, as fun as a thrill ride is, and it came right on time because, you know, we have no more DC for right now, and I'm not watching Marvel stuff, so um, it's a fun ride. I mean, it's the best fun ride there is. What else is there? Nah, nothing else. And so I think Jupiter Legacy is coming. I don't know when the boys are coming back or Umbrella Academy, but right now this is the superhero stuff other than the Marvel stuff that I'm not watching. Invincible is a good, powerful stuff. Um, the reason why I don't have a lot of in-depth things to say about it yet, and I'm staying away from the spoiler stuff because it's just getting started, just getting legs, just developing itself. Um, I mean, there's a lot of stuff in the books, but I've never read the books. Um, I will say that the first thing that they're pushing a lot of is relationships. They're doing a deep dive on some of these relationships. But I say deep dive, and that's a misnomer because none of these relationships are deep. There's three intimate relationships, relationships. One of which is Omni Man and his wife Debbie, who had Invincible. I'm not going to name the other one. I don't want to spoil anything at all, but Invincible comes up with a relationship too. And Omni Man and Debbie, of course, we're what 18, 17, 16 years into a relationship. So, I mean, of course, we're not going to see the beginnings of them, and why they're together. But Invincible and his relationship with the woman of choice, it makes no sense. Makes zero sense to me. Why they're together? Um, I think they just have this. Robert Kirkman, the writer of The Walking Dead, put this together, and I guess he has. I mean, they have the. I mean, Invincible's hooking up with a black woman, which I have no problem with. He's not even human, but he looks Middle Eastern, I guess, or whatever. Um, and he's hooking up with this the black woman in the school, but I don't see why. I don't know what the motivation is. Like, okay, a little spoiler is that Invincible is always wanted to have powers, and he finally gets them. Okay, I mean that's all he was talking about for a while, and then he finally gets them, and he hooks up with these young, powerful teen group. That's really spoilery, but he hooks up with he meets some other powerful teens. Let's put it like that, and some there's some females in that group and some males. So no matter which side of the fence you're on, you would think that he would want to spend all of his existence with them. But his girlfriend exhibits no power. They don't have anything to talk about that they talked about specifically. What they have in common is a bully that they both have in common. But the interaction with the bully is so short that it shouldn't be enough to force a relationship. Um, they just don't go in depth with why he's attached to this one woman. Now maybe they did and I didn't pay attention. I'm not going to research it, but if it wasn't strong enough to stick with me if that was the case. So I think that the relationship he has with the woman is I think it's I don't like that relationship. I don't think it's of merit. Um, and I think that there's other choices that Invincible should have had from the start. It feels as though they're holding back and they're going to bring this relationship to a weird end of sorts and send him on the correct path. But then that just means that that was bad storytelling because there'd be a breakup for no reason. They're not doing a good job. None of the relationships in this um, show why people have chosen the mates that they've chosen. You know, none of them, and that's a disservice to having a relationship. It's the strongest thing that people have. That's the strongest connection humans have to each other is establishing a relationship with somebody you care about. You just hook up with a woman just because she's attractive. You hook up with a woman, or a woman hooks up with a guy, or what other mix you can make happen. You hook up because you can get along with that person. You should be hooking up because you can get along with that person. You got things to talk about, laugh about, cry about, whatever. You have something to attach you to together, and then you start experiencing things that keep you attached, that you can share. None of that stuff is making any sense. A little bit of that is with Omni Man and Debbie, and they have that becomes part of a story thread that they've spent time together. But I mean, I guess Omni Man and she showed him a lot. She taught him a lot, and I don't know why she's specifically attached to Omni Man, but they are attached because of that. That makes sense, I guess. I don't know what brought them together in the first place. You know, he is Omni Man for goodness sakes, but um, that relationship don't make sense. The other relationship, I mean, Omni Man makes a little bit of sense, but we don't know why it's there. The Invincible relationship makes no sense, and then the other relationship, well, I can't talk about it, and it's not really. It makes it. It's cool because we come in on the end of the other relationship, so that's cool. But the Invincible one doesn't make any sense. The other thing talk about is duplicate. Duplicate is as you can see on the right, duplicate is Asian. Debbie's Asian. Um, and there's some great representation out of this group. You don't see uh, any of the darker skinned people on the planet, but they're in the show. They're thick in the show, and it makes sense that they do a good job of spreading the love around. Everybody's not doesn't look like they're all from Eastern Europe or whatever. Um, they're all over the place. But if you look at Duplicate and Asians being the largest population, where they couldn't women couldn't have children for a while, and I mean they could, but the government shut down all the reproductions. They tried to say you can only have one child per household because I guess there were so many Asians being born at the time. And then you look at this woman whose ability is to replicate herself on command. I mean, she could be in the middle of running and duplicate herself, and the duplicate will run right beside her. I mean, so I don't know if that's offensive to any Asians, but I mean that is a thing there. I mean, that's really on the nose, and it happens to be a woman too. So, I mean, that I got really offended about WandaVision trying to kill the only black woman with the only gun in WandaVision. So I guess I'm hypersensitive when I see stuff like this, but it is what it is. Um, you know, other than that, the show is massively fun, and I don't have a problem with duplicate, but I don't know if Asians would either. You know, but I definitely have a problem with the relationships in here. Some of them you can tolerate because we come midstream or at the end or whatever, but Invincible's relationship sucks. You know, and it's not because they're not the same race. It's simply or species. It's simply because they have no reason to have one. You know, and there's a better option out there for them. So anyway, and maybe a better option for her, but the story's not about her and her relationships and stuff. It's about Invincible. So we don't get to see his girlfriend's life that much. We do in episode 4, but um, it could be, I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, Invincible is kicking booty. I love it. Every time they drop one, I'm right on it. That's about it.